I was so happy teaching, and it was in the summer, and I had already signed my contract for school the next year. But we saw these people, and these people were squatting on corners waiting for buses and whatnot. And one day I walked into Pay and Save, and I saw the pharmacist way in the back of the room, and he was just shouting at this little Asian woman after each meal, and his face was red. And I listened to this for a couple minutes. After each meal. I walked up to him and I said, "Sir, you assume that everyone eats 3 times a day." And he grunted at me, and then he said, 3 times a day. And she bowed and walked away. At that time, I did go home and say, I have to do something. So I called my apostolic director in Tacoma and chatted with her. And then I went down to the USCC, that's the United States Catholic Conference of Bishops. So he said, this was John Wilkie, and he said, go to Mount Baker Apartments. No one has been there since the people have been brought in.
This was in Seattle,
This
right?
was in Seattle. Yeah. I found an interpreter. A few of them were coming to church, so I got a hold of one of them who spoke a little English. And so he took me around to the Camus people. They're the high hill people. But when we walked in there to those apartments, first of all, on the outside, the cats and rats equaled the toddlers running around bare feet. It was scary. It was real scary. And then the inside of the apartments were horrible, you know.
What did you do to get them cleaned up?
We did it. But we taught the people, we taught the women to do it. We taught the men how to wash the windows. I mean, they had nothing. They had no dishes, they had no silverware. They certainly did not have warm clothes for winter. So I was out begging those things from parishes, and then we'd get someone who had a truck, and I was jumping off and on trucks. I think that's why my legs aren't up to par.
It sounds to me like you did a wonderful job.
Well, we got the dishes in and whatnot, and then we just had parishes involved. And that was quite a bit. So,
what did you do about education for the people?
Well, for the adults, again, I begged and I spoke from the churches, and we got volunteers, and we set it up where we'd have 3 nights of reading and 3 nights of reading, 1 night of math, and then 1 night of talking, just visiting.
That was wonderful. And you had, you really were building a city of these cultures.
Lots of good things happened there, and that was a blessing. And the people in the church where we were, some of them didn't want to take to the newcomers, but some of their own people reminded them that they too were newcomers at one time, and that coming from them, that was a powerful
That was a big
statement.
help.
Yeah. And as we looked back, we see contemplate and give to others the fruits of your contemplation. We think, well, now
That's
how's
very
frosting
Dominican.
fridges, mopping floors, and going to all these city council meetings and stomping your feet. And I went to plenty of those. How is that, our mission? But it is, because our mission is to give to others the fruits of the contemplation, and the contemplation is truth and getting justice and equality for others. So that's what we did.